Hey,
Hi Adam, how are
how you
you?
doing? I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
And how is your son?
He's doing all right at the minute, but he's got a people always say rare, um, but it's bone cancer. It's not very widely researched, and the treatment is surgical removal. That's it.
Right.
So he had his left leg, so the tumor was at the top of his pelvis, and it goes straight through the hip socket. So the left leg had to go. So that's 3 years now.
Okay.
Um, and he's just had surgery to have that there was a tumor in his kidney, and that was taken out last week. Um, and so I mean he's 16. We didn't actually think we'd get this far, but
Yeah.
one day, like because they're in his lungs now, so one day the medicine will stop working. But the reason why I do a podcast. So it's just to, as I'm speaking to people, patterns are starting to emerge, and that's where LinkedIn has come in.
Yeah.
Because these patterns, it doesn't matter about culture or, um, uh,
Age, race.
yeah, it just doesn't
Just
matter what country you're in. It doesn't matter what culture or belief you have. The experiences seem to be, and the way of coping with it seems to be very similar.
yeah.
Um, which is where the more people that I speak to and the more um, experiences can be shared, we can potentially learn to help bridge the gap between everybody that lives in Cancerland and the wider world so that we can actually find a way of real support. Because I find it a bit of a taboo topic,
hmm
unless it's something like the London Marathon, where you see a lot of people raising money for charities. That bit that we've been talking about, that the middle, it's
Yeah.
just no one
Massively
really
grey.
knows. Yeah, so a period of prolonged adversity, people don't quite know what to do with it.
No.
No, and
No.
that's universal. That's
Yeah.
the thing that's happening. They're there at the beginning. Like somebody else said to me in the States, it's people come in for the pity party at the beginning, and they come in when you've rung the bell.
hmm
That's it.
Yeah.
They
That
don't.
is
Yeah, they've got no language for it.
no. It's so straight. And that's what intrigued me last week when I saw your posts.
Mm,
I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I think I was like, I never normally comment on LinkedIn about 7:30 in the morning. I was like,
yeah,
because it was so relatable, and obviously it's what I've experienced, and what I'm trying to help coach my clients through now is that bit
yeah. There's
where they
a
go, "Who am I now?"
exactly, and I think um, it's. I mean, my son's the one that's being treated for cancer, but it's had this ripple effect in the
Yeah,
whole family. Um, like my identity isn't the same.
no,
Like I'm completely different to who I was, and the concept of safety isn't the same. So it's almost that where you take safety for granted until something happens
yeah,
that reminds you that it's just as fragile as time.
yeah,
Become really aware of like how time, really aware of time, really aware of your own mortality. And that's the bit that no one seems to see. No one
no,
really knows how to, we don't know how to touch it, but
no.
we kind of have to. But so that's almost where it's come from. I mean, so how long has cancer been in your life?
Since September 2024.
Okay.
So yeah, I got diagnosed then. Um,
Um, did it I mean, I always like it's like a shipwreck. It just comes out of nowhere and you're sailing quite happily across the sea and then just everything just
yeah, all of a sudden,
yeah.
just a
And
massive.
yeah, gone.
yeah, it's yeah, you don't ever see it coming. I
No.
think you go through life like not really, maybe a bit naive, going, "Oh, it might not happen to me,"
Mm,
and I don't know, maybe when it happens, but as you're an age, I'm like early 40s, you think, "Oh, if anything does happen, it'll be later when I'm older." You
mm.
never think that it's going to happen now, and obviously the same with children as well. You always think that their
Yeah.
lives are going to be young and beautiful, and they blossom and do everything that they want to set out to achieve, and all of a sudden you have this sort of this notice like, no, sorry, it's
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not going to be
That's
this way.
that's it. Because it was like as soon as I heard it's cancer, not necessarily then, I think it was when they told us that he was incurable. I saw the life he should have had, not mine, his, and it flashed in front of my eyes. The fact
Yeah,
that I hope he does, but the fact that I always assumed he'd get married, I always assumed he'd have children. I always like talk to him about, we still do, but what job he wants to do, and and all that kind of gone, gone. Um, but it's how did your diagnosis feel for you? Not necessarily medically. I always feel like there is a massive emotional and psychological impact, I think, because I felt it and it wasn't even me.
yeah.
But what kind of impact did it have on you?
I think first of all, it's
Mm,
the shock, and for me, like with what I do, I'm very good at being present and being mindful and controlling my thoughts. So in a way, I was almost blessed with the way that I think was actually a weapon and a tool that I've used ever since and before. So it wasn't managing so much about me, it was how how does everybody else get through this, manage this? What are their
mm,
thoughts of it? The emotional things of like my wife, my children, my parents, my siblings, like the shock, because I'm the one experiencing it. But now I'm going to see the shock of you
yeah,
hearing that I'm experiencing it, and
yeah,
like the trauma. And you
mm,
have those conversations where you see someone break down or hear it over the phone, and you go, right, we'll talk when you're calm,
yeah,
because I can't now take this emotion from you onto me because my body doesn't need that. And
yeah,
it's really I came up with this sort of analogy from day one: allow, acknowledge, and accept. And it was one of my first mantras from diagnosis. So I was like, okay, I'm shocked. My business, my life, my family, my health. What's going to happen? Da 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 da. And I was like, you know what? I have to acknowledge, like, okay, I have AML. There's
mm,
nothing I can do to change that. It's true. I've had the biopsies. Everything is showing that that's what it is. So I was like, the quicker I can come to acknowledge the fact that I've got it, the quicker I can then focus on moving forward through my treatment plan.
mm,
It was allowing. So allowing was around the medication and the chemo, and going, I'm going to be allowing of all that they throw at me. It's going to come to me, come through me, and hopefully we're gonna get through this. And then accepting as well,
mm,
that accepting thing of I will be labelled as someone who's got cancer, and you're in a ward where I think what was confusing was, although I'd just been diagnosed, I didn't actually feel very. I wasn't very poorly. I
mm,
mean, I had infections going through 2024, but I was never in a position where I felt really bad. Or and
mm,
when you read or hear of the symptoms of AML, I was like, well, I've shown some of those, but not what I've now heard others experience with their low platelets and bleeding out the nose and like real bad fatigue where they couldn't move and bodies aching and all of that. I was like, yeah, I've been on holiday a month, like 4 weeks before I was abroad, and yeah, my
mm.
consultant first said, well, if you fell over when you're on holiday and bled, you would have probably bled to death. And it was
Right.
after you're like, oh, really?
Wow. Yeah.
It's like I
Yeah.
was in a swimming pool, like mixing with people like with a little immune system. Didn't
Mm.
didn't have a clue.
No.
Didn't have a clue.
But no, what I think what you've just said is profound, because the one thing I find a lot, and my son does it, is be the barrier between what you're going through and your loved ones. You become almost like an emotional um Gandalf out of Lord of the Rings. You just stand there and you go, it's not going to pass. It is going to come to me and I'm going to absorb it and I'm not going to pass it on. But then the interesting thing is not being able to, I'm carrying enough. I can't take on, I already feel, I cannot take that on as well. And my son does it where from one day to the next, I don't know what part of the journey he's processing. Like he knew the kid half of the kidney had to come out. He went through the operation. He's come back out and he's talking about exams. Like so, he's not. He is probably processing it, but
Yeah,
he's just not verbalizing it. He's keeping it all contained because he needs to be a closed energy system.
yeah,
So I completely understand where you're coming from. If it's not something I have to deal with right now, I'll park it. And I'll deal
yeah,
with that when it's fact. I'm not going to
yeah,
deal with it when it's fear. I don't have the energy for that.
yeah,
And is that why were you doing coaching before, or is it
yeah,
something you were? Is
yeah.
that
So
something you do now as well?
yeah, yeah. So I was a life coach, focused around mindset, motivation, mental health. Used to do quite a lot of corporate events around mindfulness, where I do like seminars and put lawyers to sleep in a really relaxed, peaceful state. So I had all the weapons and all the tools. Where I was now in hospital, going right. I've now got what do I have in my power? Because you lose all control when you're in hospital. What
Mm,
do I have within my control that I can do that's going to help me get through these days? Not, and also, it's about the energy that you absorb from people that are in your wards and bays, because
mm,
you see and experience and hear traumatic things.
yeah.
And you go, one thing is me getting through my own illness,
Mm,
but you're seeing and hearing like the devastation of others. And it was that reminder of like, this is not my, that's their journey, that it's not my journey.
yeah. Yeah.
And again, you learn things like so quickly, as fast as you're learning about what's going on with your blood and what medicine and treatment and chemo you're going through, you're also learning so much about yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I think that's why, like talking about running earlier, I don't think if it hadn't have been for the change in mindset that cancer being around has given me, I don't think I'll be running. I don't think I would have. I think I would have run walked my life away yesterday, and I think I would have really struggled with it and just not gone back. Whereas, it teaches you. I've done harder stuff.
Oh yeah,
I've done harder stuff than this.
yeah,
Like I've sat in a room and watched him have his leg amputated. Like I've watched him recover from it. I've done harder things. Do you think that being a life coach beforehand and having those tools has helped you with that mental resilience and that outlook whilst you've been treated?
yeah. I really believe that if I didn't think the way that I think, I may not be here right now,
Mm,
because of, well, one, the power of thought and what it can do. If you think about positives, you attract positive. If you think about negative, guess what? The negatives, you attract to those as well. So
yeah,
it is being able to switch my state of mind, recognize when I'm thinking a certain way. It's things like when you're diagnosed, don't go on Google. Everybody goes on Google.
yeah,
It's having those things. You look at statistics and rates of survival and all of those things, and I go, do you know what? That's not me.
yeah,
That's not me.
yeah,
So yeah, as a life coach, I definitely think that it was almost like all the learning and business that I was doing beforehand was setting me up for this experience. And also not to prove to the people that followed and supported me, but to go, Adam's been harping on about this mindset and motivation for years now. Show us. Go on, then.
Okay.
And
I shall
it
show
was like,
you. Watch
yeah,
this. Yeah.
it was like the ball landed at my feet, and I was like, run with it.
Yeah.
And I was in hospital. I had a gratitude board, so the whiteboards in my bays, they weren't being used for like putting the nurses' times and shifts up on there. So I was like, can I write something on that board? So I was writing. It started off as a message for me, but then I was like, every bloke in my bay needs to see this.
Mm.
Every consultant is going to have a bad day and they can see this. And it was almost like I was this inspirational character on my ward, and consultants were coming in. I used to have staff come in, take a picture of the daily board, and off they went. So everybody's energy.
Yeah.
And I know that like the more you put out, the more you get back in the universe. I'm very much a universal law of attraction manifesting person. Know
Mm.
that what you put out, you get back.
Mm.
And I was like, if I can help others to heal, then surely there's going to be some sort of an exchange where I'm going to be looked after too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, when we were in hospital, we got mindset badges made for all the nurses and consultants that looked after us, and yeah, and every room that I went into, I ended up writing on all the boards. So in Worcester, where I'm from, a lot of the boards had some sort of positive message written on it. And
That's incredible. That's
yeah, because
incredible.
you're a long time in hospital,
Yeah.
you're a long time in those rooms, and I used to. You come up with practices. One thing that I did was I used to shut my curtain
Mm.
to protect myself, because that curtain is, I didn't want to look across and see
Mm.
illness or hear that negativity, or because
Yeah.
people get angry and people are livid with not getting updates very often and all of that stuff. And I go, do you know what? I'm protecting myself.
Yeah. I totally understand where you're coming from. That you're closing off you're a closed energy system. You're closing that off because behavior breeds behavior.
Yeah,
That's what it does. So it's you've got
yeah,
evidence that you
but
start small with positive, but just little things of positivity, gratitude, and looking for there are silver linings out there if you look hard enough. We have to look really hard some days,
yeah. Some
but
days really hard,
yeah, and
but you
it
always
ripples
find it.
out.
Yeah, and it, like you said, it's you become who you associate with.
Mm,
You are the same as the five people that you hang around with.
mm,
And one thing that was really interesting was one guy that I was in with. He, by the time that we'd finished sharing our room together, his perspective, his outlook, how he was talking had changed.
mm.
And the consultants actually came over to me and they said, he's been having like one-to-one coaching with you for 3.5 weeks solid. I was with him 24/7 a day.
You need to send him the
And
bill. You need to send
yeah,
him the bill 24 hours a day
and
for 3 weeks.
but I would lie there and I'd hear him talk to his family, and if I heard him say something, I'd correct him and
Yeah,
go, "Don't rephrase what you've just said."
yeah,
And a lot of people said he changed because when he was in the summer without you, he was miserable. He was moaning, complaining, blaming, and he actually took on me.
mm,
And it was for one
yeah,
day I heard him talking, and I was like, I can tell he spent time with me. He's becoming like
yeah,
a little me.
yeah.
So yeah, you do change because of your environment and what you're in and with, and we yeah, he's he's still doing well, and we're in touch, and it's
Amazing.
great. You make this is that's weird in its own right. You make cancer buddies, and you
I
kind of
think it's because so I think it's almost a bit about emotional capacity, I think, because most people I've encountered, and I know I do it as well, I can walk into a room and quite quickly assess who can hold it and who can't.
mm,
Usually I'll throw a joke out and see who can catch it. If somebody catches it, that's it. They can hold what I can drop the mask and I can be completely honest with them. And
yeah,
people that kind of go, oh, okay. And then I have to become the emotional thermostat in the room and
yeah,
mitigate how I behave so that I don't, if they can't hold it, I'm not going to give it to them. Did you, and it's the same as So the person that shared the room with you, they've almost had like a subliminal tape going on for 3 weeks, because if he's not saying it and you're not correcting him, he can hear you, and it's going
Yeah.
in, and it's almost rewiring the neural
Reprogramming. Yeah.
pathways.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big believer in that. Like whatever comes out of your mouth, your brain will believe it.
Yeah. That's it.
And then so
Uh,
all the way around yesterday, I was going, I trust my body to know what to do. And it did,
yeah.
because I trusted it. And it was just one of those moments where everything was working together. But other days, it's really hard for me to think positively and look for reasons to be positive for it. Um, did you find that there were occasions or instances where it was harder for you to use those tools that you've got as a life coach, in your cancer experience some days?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the thing. We can't be positive up here all the time. There are some moments where you're in your boots and you're going, let me now, today is tough.
Mm,
But then that's where I would break it down and go, okay, so today feels tough, but what about tomorrow? What about in an hour's time?
mm,
Depending on what was going on or through that phase of treatment. But the worst bit for me was the first one was after transplant,
yeah.
because I was very much like, right, I want to get up and move in. And there were some days where I'd walk to the bathroom and go, oh God, that was tough.
Mm,
But I knew that I had to do it. And I think it was that's where having a why like definitely really helps to go, why am I doing this? What am I doing it for?
mm,
Call my wife, call the children, have pictures around me. And
mm,
sometimes you do things not because you want to, but because you have to.
yeah.
Um, and the relapse as well, that was tough, where I was like proper struggling with neutropenic sepsis, pneumonia, but
Wow.
I just knew that I was going to get through it. That it was like that belief system. I think I created a belief system so strong that I'd almost like corrected my pathways to, I believed it so much that
Mm,
nothing was gonna, like a shield,
yeah.
regardless of what. Okay, yeah, this is what I'm going through, but I'm gonna be okay. And like you said around your thoughts with your run yesterday, like your thoughts create feelings, your feelings create behaviors, your behaviors create actions, your actions create results.
Mm,
And if any of those are out of sync, your whole life can fall apart.
yeah.
So it was being again, it was like that gift of the the awareness, the knowledge that I had was to go, right, if I'm thinking like this, or if I hear, because that's the problem, is you hear or you have other people talk those bad things to you, and
Mm,
you kind of go, okay,
yeah.
I
No.
don't need to.
Yeah.
Out comes the invisible wall of not listening. I'm not absorbing this,
Yeah. This isn't
and then
mine.
yeah,
Yeah.
keep it away.
This is not mine. Yeah. Um, do you find that how people behave? We've spoken about the bit in between, like diagnosis and ringing the bell. I celebrate ringing the bell for anybody, because my son will never do it. He had a chance to do it and he didn't. But I think the bit in between and the bit after isn't spoken about very much.
No,
Do you think, because society doesn't quite know how to meet us, did anything anybody say to you almost make it harder for you? Like, so almost the wider world, and through trying to say something better, and they completely miss it, like you're so strong or you're inspirational and oh, you got the good cancer, that's the one, or have you tried baking powder, you know did you get any of that?
yeah, of course you get people that tell you to stop eating this,
Sugar?
that, and everything else. Stop eating sugar, but they don't understand
No.
how the proteins and mitochondria and all of those things. They don't know how they work.
Mm,
Um, so yeah, you do get a load of people that go, "Oh, try this juice and have this," and you kind of like ignore. Okay, thanks for the advice.
yeah.
Um, I think some of the biggest problem is that bit in between is hard to measure.
Yeah.
So the bit where you're not, or certainly the niche that I've kind of specialized business in around now is about helping people that are sort of post-transplant, where you're not a full-time patient, but
Mm,
you're not full-time living your normal life. There's the middle bit there where
mm,
I got to about 100 days and I was like, who am I? What am I? What do I do now?
mm.
And I think in hospital, you can't measure that. A blood test, they can measure my blood, they can see what's going on, they can do a bone marrow biopsy, they know what's going on there. Mentally, they go, yeah, he looks okay, he feels okay. But then there's this whole, we've just gone through something that you can't measure. There's
Yeah,
no chart or boxes that you can tick to sort
yeah,
of the anxiety around the future, because what about if it comes back?
yeah,
You've also got the depression state of who you used to be.
yeah,
And for me, again, it was actually aligning all of those together and go, who am I going to become? What am I now?
yeah,
And there's a massive focus again on bringing it all back into the present moment.
yeah.
Because, and I've said before, but when I started business again, I reached out to some of my old clients, to some of the old corporates that I was working with, and their world had moved on.
Mm,
And then you kind of go, okay, well, that's bad.
yeah,
Where am I now? And you're lost. You feel like you're back in a hole because
mm,
you're trying to find yourself and you're like trying to catch up, but you can't catch up because you don't want to put too much stress on your body and all of those things. So for me,
yeah,
it was about recognizing that. And then I was like, well, if I feel like this after transplant, what are
mm,
people that don't know how to manage their thoughts? What are they going through?
yeah, yeah. And that's how we've almost converged on LinkedIn
Yeah,
because I've then gone, do you know what? It's almost like you've gone on a holiday, you've gone on a cruise, and you're going across the Atlantic, and the boat sinks out of nowhere, and you're paddling furiously just to stay afloat, and you manage to get to a desert island, and you reach it, and you can hear everybody from where you came from applauding because you survived. But you're in a brand new country, you can't get back, you don't speak the language, you've got absolutely no sense of direction, you can't get off, and you have to figure out who you're going to be, knowing that safety is an illusion, time's probably an illusion, and your brain is your mindset is your biggest asset. And there are people out there that potentially don't know that, or
no,
don't have the support system there to be able to build that for themselves. It's almost the identity grief, but then the potential that sits there. Yes, my son, I will eventually have to learn to live in a world where my son's not here. But in the meantime, who am I going to be? In the meantime, I'll deal with that then, but who do I want to be right now? And I've said to him before, you're not up against the two-legged version of you. You're not up against a healthy version of you because you're just as good. And he said, no, I'm not. I'm better.
mm,
I'm better than who I
I
was
love that.
because that's what cancer's done for me.
Yeah,
And I would much rather be known as an amputee because I had cancer than an amputee because of something else. He's just totally accept, like you say, it's about acceptance. You can either
yeah,
fight it or, yeah. No, I think
yeah,
it's made me into a better person.
yeah.
I still
And
hate it, but yeah, it's made me
yeah,
into a
it's
better.
that thing, isn't it? It's never going to be one of those things where you go, oh yeah, look, I loved having it, because you
Yeah,
don't. But
yeah,
you go, do you know what? There's good that can come from this. There's opportunities that can come from this.
yeah.
There's things that I was supposed to do that I was always afraid to do, but now I don't care, and I'm
Mm,
gonna find. And I've got things with me. I've wrote in my books from 2017. I want to be an author. Didn't really know what I was ever going to make a book about. Had leukemia.
mm,
Created a book to help families navigate a blood cancer journey. I am now an author. I wanted to go and speak to people like on stages and never really knew like my story before. It was good, but now
mm.
I'm like, now I can share this resilience, adversity, how to move forward, how to inspire the others that are going through it. And I often say like to be the light in someone else's dark, to go,
Yeah,
do you know what? I've been down there, I've left the light on. you'll find your way, follow me.
Yeah, that's
But I
eerie.
didn't.
That's
Hey,
eerie. My book, I've written a book for parents of children with cancer, and there is a lighthouse on the front.
wow,
I've drawn a lighthouse myself on that's the front cover
there you
because
go.
I have the exact same mentality. We're not here to tell people how to do it. We're here to just leave the light on and go, there are the rocks. Watch out for those. This
Yeah,
is the way. And just leading through experience.
yeah.
Yeah. That was, oh, gave me goosebumps. I was like, oh,
And
yeah.
I 100% did not know that you had a book with a
No,
lighthouse.
no,
And
I don't
that's
put
the
it on
thing.
it.
The thing with the lighthouses, they're the smart ones because a lighthouse and a tugboat do the same job.
Mm,
But the tugboat's in the water, working hard, crashing against the waves,
mm,
going through the turmoil. The lighthouse is doing the same thing up the top, just going here, just follow me,
yeah, yeah.
showing
And
you the
that
same way.
exactly. And I think it's just, yeah, that's eerie. But no, the same mentality, the same drive, the same passion. I think it can potentially be, I think it is a really lonely experience if you let it. If you've got,
Yeah,
yeah, and
it
there is power in being able to show people that, I'm always a message away, doesn't matter who they are, because cancer is probably the one thing in the world that does not discriminate. It doesn't care who you are.
does not give,
Yeah,
does not
single,
care
yeah,
at all.
monkeys.
You
Does
can
not care.
be, you can be as rich or as poor. It does not care.
No, it will
Um,
comfort somebody you know, and that's what kind of flummoxes me a little bit is that everybody on the planet has been touched in some way. It will either
yeah,
be a family member or a friend of a friend of a friend, or everyone has been touched by it, and yet we still don't think about it until we're in it.
yeah,
That's got to change because it's
yeah,
isolating, especially in the middle, because you don't know how long the
yeah.
middle's going to be.
No, and I think that that's one thing that drives me is that awareness
Mm,
because what we're doing is bridging the gap. We're talking about it. We're
yeah,
doing it properly. Like this isn't me who's read and studied it. This is me who's gone through it,
yeah,
nearly died from it, still got complications from it.
yeah,
But I'm learning to move forward and to make the world a better place because I understand your perspective on life just completely changes.
yeah,
I thought I saw life with a good perspective before. Now it's even better.
yeah.
And now you do things where you go, fear is gone.
Mm,
I don't have anything. So I'm like, what have I now got to be afraid of? What's
yeah,
possibly worse? Like nothing phases me. This happens, okay, we'll deal with it. That happens, okay,
yeah,
we'll deal with it. Like everyday things that you used to think were scary, like oh, I've had a
yeah.
parking ticket. Damn it, I've got £75. We're like, okay, pay it, done. Like,
Yeah,
see it, it's
done.
done.
It's an easy solution.
Because
There's a solution to that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it doesn't matter.
No,
Um,
perspective, I think, is what it gives you. Perspective.
perspective is key, and again, perspective is one of the great tools of the mind that we're all born with.
Yeah,
We're all born with like higher faculties of the mind, which a lot of us don't know about because we've never tapped into it
yeah.
because of upbringing, because of the work that we do, because of family. And
Mm,
until you go on like these journeys to go and find out like who am I, what am I, you
mm,
kind of like you said, you get put the right people get put in front of you, um,
mm.
and before you know it, your whole world and awareness just changes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a powerful, powerful message. Thank you so much for spending some time with me this
Thanks for
evening.
having me.
Oh, well,
I
you are
loved it.
always more than welcome back on. I know you've got a few speaking engagements coming up, so good luck with those. I will be cheering you on.
Thank you very much.
Um, And if you ever need a virtual running partner, I want you to let me know.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
we do
we'll
it.
get something going.
I think it's important to have, especially with the experience, because how we run now is different to how we would have ran a few
Yeah,
years ago.
yeah,
Because
absolutely.
like the motivation, the drive. I mean, last week I went out for one of my training runs,
Mm.
and it was sunny when I left. It went cloudy. The wind came. I got hailed on. I got out like
I remember you saying,
I had to strip off like a little boy and leave all my clothes in the doorstep. My wife was like, "Go and have a shower and get yourself warmed up." And when I was
Yeah.
running, I had the biggest smile on my face because I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I've been through worse than this. And
Yeah.
yesterday, the same thing happened to my wife and stepson. And I was sat there thinking, she's going to call and say, "Can you come and pick me up?" And she absolutely nailed her way through it, came home, and she was doing like pictures of tennis balls
Amazing.
of hail bouncing on her. And she was like, "I loved it. And I've been through
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah, absolutely. I always
I
find
am the
that
storm."
switch
Yeah.
hitting whatever distance I'm doing, the switch will flip. And I will say at some point on every run, I love running.
Yeah.
I love running
You've
because
got
it
to.
just gives me that. It's mine. Cancer can't have it. It's mine.
Yeah.
It belongs to me. Um, but yeah, so if you ever want someone to cheer you on, I am available for that. And you're always welcome back on. Always.
Thank you so much. But yeah, I'll do that because I think
Yeah,
it's, you
amazing.
ever have a topic or something that needs sharing, I'll share it. And
Amazing.
again, people always say like, "Oh, if you don't mind talking about it," and I'm like, I have to talk about
Yeah,
it
we
because
have
if
to.
I
No, that's
don't,
right. It has been an absolute pleasure, Adam. Thank you so much for coming on. And you are always welcome back. Always
thank you.
welcome. Talk
I'm
about,
grateful
well,
for
we
the
can talk about
opportunity.
your run. We'll talk about your
Yeah,
progress
yeah,
training up to 10K. Yeah,
amazing. Thank you.
no problem. Thank you for coming.